That one won't be sure. Oh yeah, I'll wait.
All right. Okay. I'm Mark Schuler. I'm Vice President of Maintenance Operating higher capacity because that's the way Bud got paid. Ride came with 32 logs. We still own 30. We lost one about 12 years ago. We sent it to Hopkins to see if they could make us new logs, and they cut it in half, and we didn't want it back. And I think we lost another one to just old age. The ride runs a max of 28 logs, so we still have spares. Right behind you here is basically a loading dock. This is the boat pond. Put boats in, take boats out, lift them out of the pond with the small hoist there, and then you just set them here and roll them in the rack. Each rack back there holds 10 logs, so the racks are obviously a little deeper than what I'm displaying right now. You can lift those all the way up to the ceiling and roll basically another 6 logs on the rack or so. The plates, some of you are standing this is basic Christmas. Sorry. Oh, this is a big group. Put about more than I can chew here. All right, there he is. So you didn't lose anybody, right? No. Okay. All right, this is basically intermediate lift number 2. Each lift. Belt number 4. The staircases you see on either side go to the top of belt 4. The staircases would be used if we needed to exit anybody off the belt if the ride shuts down. A lot of the walkways around are built specifically for that purpose and also to get us to perform maintenance. But there's a lot of exits in the ride, so you'll be seeing different doors and stuff. They all have a purpose. You're basically standing right over scene number 5, or I am here now. So we do have a bench here. We built rollers for the lifts. It's just easier to get to this lift in this location. And then belt lift one, we build the rollers in the pump room, and then we just hoist them up to the lift. When we leave here, we're going to be going straight ahead and out the door and into the flip. Okay. So pretty good sized group. So I'm not going to be able to talk to you all at once until you get in the valley, but when you get to Flume, hey, be careful. It's got a little water in it. I swept it this morning, so most of the water will be to your right. We're going to be going reverse direction of travel, so try to stay to your left. When you go out to the door and turn left, some of you are going to be startled because you're going to hear some guy rudely tell you to sit down. Please don't. And just as you turn the corner into the valley, there's 2 weirs in the Flume. So again, you need to stay to your left because if you stub your toe, you'll trip, and then I'll get in trouble. So that's not good.
Sit down. 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 Sit down.
Okay, we're going to spend a lot of time out here because I left my jacket in the shop and it's raining, but it was hot. Anyway, obviously you're in the valley if you've been on the ride. Behind me is Sawmill, so this is lift 1, the lower belt is belt 1, and then you flatten out and come to belt 2. We leave belt 2 and enter the flip. When we leave here, we're going to round the corner in the Flume. And just as we enter the mountain, you're going to be hopping back out of the Flume on your left. But if you look straight ahead, that will be scene 2. That's the scene with the locomotive and the wolves and the badger and all that happy stuff. But we're not going to go into scene 2. You're going to be hopping out before that. We're going to try and gather this mass of people on this very small wooden platform. So you'll just follow, but don't
Sit out.
Out of the water.
It's gonna get crowded down there.
Is that a Pink Floyd tie?
It is. I'll see you over there.
Okie dokie.
Pumps that actually operate in July. There's 3 pumps that operate in July. There's obviously a spare. There's 24,000 gallons a minute minimum to run the line. Space line comes out to 12,000 gallons. That would put out a jack in the sink. Just before you get on level 1 or level 1, the water takes a right and goes back to the distribution box. I know I saw it on the internet 2 years ago. We had lock the hole top of the mountain, and people had pictures with a crane block going through the mountain. That's what that was for. We had to replace the distribution box. It was the original from '69. A lot of water in this ride. Imagine that. So we had 6 blocks out. Built the new one in one piece and put it back up there. So all the new one got to come out, drop the box out, and the new one went in. We had to pick it up with the crane, get it in place. There's a lot of work going on here to draw the beams back in so we can set the box in place. So it's kind of a major job for the area we had to work in. Like I said, the pumps are 18 feet long, so when you take those out, you got to take them all the way up, and then you got to swing the bottom out towards the wall there. Just enough room to perform that too. It is a fun place to work. There's 2,200 feet of flume. I think there's a mile and a half of back pallets and doors, so it's a fun place. There's the Winchester Mystery House stairs, compressor room, the concrete stairs, and open to the granite wall. And that's it. Just walk up the stairs and run into the wall. There's a couple of rooms that were built in the ride, but really nobody knows why. They're mistakes, or nobody's ever going to see them. Unless you're wandering around the mountain, you can't see it, taking a ride. So it's an interesting place. We sometimes think that Bud's brother worked in the gunite industry, and so they just sprayed as much gunite as they could when they were doing that. You can see here, you see rebar in the back. So obviously, this is not a show side of the mountain; it's the maintenance side. There's many, many areas in the mountain where you'll crawl in between 2 walls, and they're both finished. So if you notice somebody built the wall and said, "Yeah, I don't like that," go ahead and build another one out here. So there's a lot of little places you can get lost in here. Several years ago, as most people know, we lost the ceiling in C5. But that gets to be the most wondrous place in the world. There's 4 subfloors above the reservoir. So you have to go from one subfloor and walk to the other subfloors. I was actually
that was the kind of place you could just really get lost in too much when you're going to inspect. And at least 2 flashlights. It's an interesting mountain. It still is in lots of areas. The A-frame ceiling. You can get on top of that and walk from one end of the building to the other. It's kind of fascinating to really get in places you're not going to get to go. But I hope you found what you did get to see a little different. Try to give you something you probably wouldn't normally see every day. Have a little walk to Flint, which very few people get to do. I hope you feel as honored as I do. Does anybody have any questions? I'd love to. Boy or girl?